Run it back. Mayhem, your cue.
You ready?
Go ahead.
Rerun the team.
Unlike some people, oh no, fuck, they're all here. Morg, play the jingle.
Cam, you're a dickhead, mate. Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the Football Booth podcast. My name is Fennan. Joined alongside me, I've got Mayhem. How you doing, mate?
How'd you follow that? Fucking
I don't know how you follow off with that.
No, mate, I'm good. You know, some things happen once in a lifetime. It feels like, and we've got a full party today. Maybe once in a season. So excited, man.
Oh, you know what? If you are listening right now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Audible, you've got to look on the YouTube live recording. Cam has just given us the greatest introduction. With that being said, we do have two special guests joining us for today's episode. We have Sam Foster. How you doing, mate?
I'm dying.
You're dying.
I'm good. Oh, wow. I'm good, thanks, bro. It's good to be back. I can't. Whew, it's good to be back, man.
And we got Cam, you massive dickhead.
Wow, I'm good. Thank you for asking, Morgan.
Yeah, how
as
you
always.
doing? How you doing? How you
Yeah, man.
doing? You alright? You alright?
Yeah, living life, mate. Living life to the fullest.
Oh,
some say.
mate, yeah. Jesus
Keep the camera
Christ.
over.
Well, there's a special reason why we got these two individuals with us today. Courtesy of a particular fixture that took place yesterday evening. We had the North London Derby. North London Derby, don't cut me off, Cam. That's not how it works. Right, me and Mayhem, we're going to sit back. We're going to let you two fire shots. What are your thoughts, boys?
I want to know what Cameron's thoughts are on the older result on the weekend.
I mean, I expected us to be losing at half time, but I thought it'd come out. I thought we played well in the second half. Kane maybe scores that chance on a different day and get back into it, but same old Tottenham, mate. Shit through the first half and somehow managed to play well in the second half. I don't know what Conte really does at half time. Maybe we should start with that, but it is what it is. Yeah, again, Arsenal are 8 points clear, and realistically, if you don't win the league, it's another choke. So no pressure, but
It's all yours to lose, really, Sam,
Yeah.
isn't it?
really,
At the moment, it does seem that way. I mean, looking at the fixtures we've got left, we don't really have any easy fixtures, but there's
you
just
play
something.
City twice, don't you?
Still got City twice, still got Liverpool to play, still got Chelsea to play, still got United to play, still got a good few. I think Brentford is the only not top six club, but coming
Yeah,
there.
I mean, Liverpool and Chelsea are decent mid-table side, so I'm surprised that they'll pose you a little bit of trouble. But Cam, if I fire a question to you, because I've seen it firing around on the old social medias a bit, right? If you could take Poch back now, would you get rid of Conte?
No.
No?
I think if you
take Poch back.
if you take the history out of him, get to a Champions League final, then yeah. But I don't think he can come back into that Tottenham team and get it firing like he used to. I don't get where we left the season, where we went on that massive run and we got Champions League football, to where we've picked up, and we just don't look the same team. We're lucky to keep 10 men on the pitch. Realistically, last Sunday, Romero should be sent off. He's a very lucky boy. Dembele could not keep up with Saka. The referee doesn't try to ruin the game, but I really think we should have been down to 10, 9 men maybe. And I don't think, realistically, as a Tottenham fan, maybe they should stop thinking we're a bigger team than we are. Conte's a world-class manager. I don't know who you get in if you sack him now. You're in the same part as Chelsea. If you sack another manager, who do you really replace him with? That's the problem I see. Give him another season. We're not as big as people want us to believe.
Well, you just said there yourself that Conte's a world-class manager. Surely, the way Tottenham have played, and it's been a bit more up and down as of late. You know, they went to Selhurst Park, which has been a difficult place to go to this season, and played them off the park 4-0, and then to go into a massive game and your biggest game of the season, and to crumble at home.
But if you look at it, Palace miss a great chance, and I think it's Ayew doesn't pass it across where we should be 1-0 down.
Yeah.
Kane scores 2 fantastic goals. So if we haven't played any team really off the park except from Leicester, and that was like 25 minutes that I can actually think of this whole season. You look at our top 3, if they don't perform, it's nothing. Because the other people, like Lloris, proven yesterday is not good enough. The back 3, not good enough. The midfield, yeah, you pick 1 or 2 players out, and then the front 3 are the people that stand out, and they've just not been shooting. Son's not the same player he was last year. Lovenskiewski, or whatever his boy's name is, has come back from injury. He looks like our best player in week out.
Yeah.
Looks our best player week in, week out, and Kane obviously gets the goals, but he drops too deep in certain places. So it's a hard one.
That's partly. I mean, you big statement. I mean, I think Conte may used to have been a world-class manager, but for me at the moment, he's just Big Sam with a hair transplant because the football that he's playing is absolutely fucking dreadful. It's the most.
It's not been great this season, is it?
It's the most boring football in the league at the moment for me, and I've watched a lot of football this season, and I just don't know what. Like you've got a good team, you've got a solid first 11 that could actually challenge, not for a title, but for top 4 week in, week out. I reckon you've got a decent team, but the style of football that he is playing at the moment is absolutely diabolical, and I just don't know. There seems to be no ambition in the team at the moment, no ambition from anywhere coming from any part of that club to actually do something, because you can't play defensive football and allow a team like Arsenal to attack and attack and attack and attack, where the form that we are currently on this season, and expect to come out with a result. I don't get where the mentality is with that. How do you justify that to the board or justify that to the fans?
I think that the fans is the big one. Let's not forget that Villas Boas lost his job ultimately because the fans said the football he wasn't playing, wasn't up to scratch. The guy, the ex-Wolves manager beforehand, the problem was the football.
Everything.
Mourinho, the people that were getting on Mourinho's back was the football. What's the difference with Conte? Because like when at the start of the season you're winning games 1-0, there's all that kind of hype around it.
It goes back to last season. Like I think overall for the year we scored the most goals in the Premier League over Man City, Liverpool. Like it's chalk and cheese, because you watch us in the first half and you think championship team. You watch us in the second half and you think fucking hell, like these boys can be anyone. But you can't go 2-0 down like Sam to a team like Arsenal and expect to get a result every single week. And that's the problem with us.
Is the big thing here that Son isn't the Son from last season?
I think it's I really couldn't put. You look at the team from 45 minutes against Arsenal, couldn't get anywhere near, didn't get the second ball, was scared. And the team that comes out, you think, where was this team at start? Like Zlevska, like Kane's there, like Son, the front three's firing. You just think, don't be 2-0 down at half time, because you've already put yourself up against. You've already dug a hole that you're not gonna undig against this team.
Yeah, I think part of the issue is obviously it could have been way more than 2-0. Obviously, there's an absolute howler from Lloris. Like he's passed it, in my opinion. But
massively.
It could have been 3, 4, 5. That's the issue.
Goal to let in. Yeah.
Become a second half team, and that's just not good enough. If you're playing defensive football and becoming a second half team, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to be a goal or 2 down at half time.
Yeah, 100%. But when saying that, if Son takes his chance, it's 1-0 and it's a different game. But
yeah,
football
had a blinder. Like he really did.
Ramsdale was good yesterday, really good.
Yeah, he was solid.
It's a good kick to the chest.
Yeah, good.
Just shows you how well he did. He frustrated the fans that much.
That's too far, isn't it? Like, all joking aside, with all our rivalries, obviously I've used both sides of North London. Obviously Cam as well, being my brother, will obviously have a strong hatred towards the other side of Glasgow, Morg, you down in South Wales. But at the end of the day, that's gone too far, isn't it? Like to actually physically assault a player is beyond, and the fact it's been allowed to happen in the Premier League, that the biggest league arguably in the world, maybe not the best, but there's probably better teams out there, blah blah blah, but like the most watched, the most viewed, for that kind of just negligence to allow someone to physically boot a player.
This poor, mate. Absolutely poor. FA need to take action ASAP. The stadium
And
security as well was pretty poor at that point as well. There's like 3 stewards around a Tottenham end that are behind Aaron Ramsdale, and it's a
look,
derby.
apparently, from what I've read, is it was getting a bit tasty, because obviously that's the side where the away fans are apparently, and it's getting a bit tasty in the corner between the two sets of fans, and that's where the distraction was. That's where the steward's attention is, and they've allowed him to. But it isn't like it happens quick. Like he bounces up. What else is he going to do? Bounces up, and obviously, Richarlison's kind of bamming him up. Ramsdale's bamming up the fans, kissing the badge and that. But it's all part and parcel.
Yeah, it's all part of the parcel. Like, the stick that the goalkeepers get for 90 minutes or 45 minutes at least from the opposite fans is unbelievable. And to have the control that they do, and to not just turn around and tell them all to go absolutely fuck themselves is insane, because you do get a lot of stick as a goalkeeper when you're sitting at the opposition's end. And okay, he may give it a little 2-0, he may blow a kiss or wave or whatever, but I know emotions are high, but something needs to be put in place. Not gates or whatever, what you want to call it, not fence, but something needs to be in place for that not to happen. Because what if one day that happens, he kicks him in the chest and he has a heart attack, or God forbid, something like that.
Well, the Tele2 Arena in Stockholm, where me and Stu will go watch Djurgården play, what they actually have, they have like this net enclosure round the actual pitch itself, and so that prevents objects being thrown onto the pitch. They like their flares out there as well, so they'll be thrown on. Well, they'll just bounce off the enclosure and come back, really, but. Like something as that, just to be like that next step to avoid negative fan interaction with players.
But it should never get that far. This is the problem. It's not the first time it's happened in the Premier League that fans have run onto the pitch and assaulted players. It should never get that far. If you're that invested in a club, just get a life. Like, if you generally thought Tottenham were going to get a result, like you're deluded as it is, but go and kick a ref, at least kick one of their top players, so at least they're injured, so they can't win the league. Like Ramsdale, do a bit of effort, son.
But anyway, I mean, moving on to the more positive aspects of that game, it was an Arsenal masterclass in the end. I mean, as fortunate as the first goal was, it's a brilliant finish from Martin Odegaard for the second.
Yeah, but I mean, he was knocking on the door all game, and they allowed him the space to get the shot off, and ultimately it's gone in the bottom right corner. It is like a masterclass. My fucking captain, I love that guy. He is everything I've wanted an attacking midfielder to be and more. And I can't express enough how much I love that guy. Like, he has come in and he has transformed the way that we can attack. And obviously Saka's been on form, Martinelli's been on form, and Ketty, surprisingly, is actually impressed me.
Starting to pick up a bit now. I mean, still not completely convinced, but
if he could add
finishing, more positive signs.
Yeah, of course. If he could add finishing,
that's the best way to put it. Best way to put it.
If he could do his job, God, it'd be quite good.
Yeah, but he's up and down the line. Your wing backs couldn't handle him when he was on the wing, let alone Saka or anyone. He was really well. He was a problem. He's doing his job. He was a problem, but he needs to find the whatever he needs, the composure or the positioning or whatever, to put the ball in the back of the fucking net, because he had a brilliant chance as well. And I think it was a slide tackle from Mero or somebody that was the only reason it didn't test Lloris.
Oh,
but
the second half, wasn't it? Yeah. No, I remember. Yeah, Romero.
Dyer, I think.
But I feel like
Dyer, yeah.
with Jesus to come back in February as well, I see him losing the spot instantly. Like, Jesus just brings. Okay, he may not. Similar, he may not add more goals, but he's better at the link-up play. He's better at creating the chances. He's better at the hold-up play.
Player.
Just a better player all round.
100%.
There's still question marks over his goal scoring, though, I think.
Oh yeah.
Like, as a number 9, I think doing that is fine, and he is a fantastic player, great close control, and really brings something different to the Arsenal team. But you start to understand why he was being sort of used on the wing at City. I know he doesn't want to play there, but you start to understand, because there is question marks around his goal scoring prowess. The fact that he had a good run at the start, but
yeah, brilliant one.
He's died off. But more, what Stu was saying there is that they're saying in Sweden they close a few columns of seats to provide a buffer from the fans. So like in
Oh yeah, they
Champions
do
League
that as
games.
well. Yeah.
So obviously in like the Champions League games, is that something that you think could be there for like big derbies that shut off the first
Feel
few
like
rows?
I don't know.
No.
Like the Premier League is too money orientated that they wouldn't want to risk a few thousand fans because to an Arsenal game for the tickets potentially that could be 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand, like or 30 grand of money that is going to be missed out for a possibility that somebody's going to jump on the pitch. I think there needs to be something further enforced, like the netting, like Morgan was saying, or something, because it's there are just absolute idiots out there that get too hyped up on their emotion and their passion, and they feel like they can do something to change or impact the players, and that's not right. You're here to watch the football, regardless of the result. Yes, it can get heated. Yes, you can get emotional, but to actually physically harm a player is outrageous, absolutely outrageous. And I hope he gets banned for life. He probably will, but
And
They should do more.
This is it. Like every club has their idiots. Like it should be an all-round thing.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
they
know
should
about
do-
the netting. Like I think that kills.
I think it
Like a
does. Like I
match
think
day
that
vibe.
I think there will be the sense of detachment if there is something like a net enclosure.
Like if I'm at Celtic Park, the last thing I want is to have to watch the game through net. And I know it's something that we've seen pretty predominantly in around the world in Europe. But there's just something special about when you get to the ground and
I feel
you're
like
there, and the netting I think would take away a little bit. But there definitely does need to be. This
I'm
has highlighted
yeah,
massively
I'm
that
not
there's a
saying
problem.
like bring in the netting strike. Maybe if it was like a free strike system or something where if an incident happens at your club, then you get a fine, etc., etc. And if it happens a certain amount of times, then measures need to be introduced like netting or something because of your club cannot control the supporters. So it falls onto the club, and therefore it would be the supporters' not issue or the supporters' fault that the netting has been put in place or whatever they choose to put in place. I don't feel like it should be okay. Every club needs netting now. It should be like a punishment system almost.
I think if there would have been 100 fans that stormed on to the ground and assaulted the Arsenal team, there'd be more cause for that kind of action. But one idiot stood up. I see that Tottenham put out a plea for the guy to turn himself in, so he can receive a lifetime ban. Obviously, didn't come forward, but what did happen was 627 individuals come forward and said it was them. So may take a little bit of sifting through for Tottenham to actually find the
Oh,
actual guilty culprit. So yeah, I just think that there needs to be something. I don't know. I don't know the solution. I'm more bringing the problems rather than the solution. But yeah, for the player safety to be in any way, these derby games are what the casuals turn in for. It's what all the eyes on. North London derby, Manchester derby, the Glasgow derby, even down when you're watching like the Norfolk derby, the East Anglian derby, the South Wales derby. These are what people tune in for. And if you can't guarantee, you know, at the very most the players' safety, as well as it should, go on to fan safety and everything else. But yeah, you've fallen well short of the mark. Like,
you're always
what's your
gonna have
Dan?
you're always gonna have the idiot that does it, but you're not gonna have netting or anything. Just bring in point deduction, and then you'll have less idiots. That's the thing that they should do. Because the netting, they'll never bring the netting in down to England. Because I think of Hillsborough and all that, if too many people storm forward and all that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
there's an
just
ugly past with it.
yeah, just just have it in the law. Player storms a pitch, harms a player, 10, 20 points deducted, and then simple as. If you
I think
harm the team, then the fans will come forward and name the person that's done the stupid thing.
the only issue I can foresee with that is say like on Sunday, the one idiot comes in, harms Ramsdale, and because he's now cost his club 10 points, 20 points, or whatever it chooses to be, even 3 points, like there would be another idiot that would go and potentially harm that guy because he has done that to the club, and it would just cause more issues and more issues and more.
This is the big problem because if fans are creating these sanctions, upon their teams, like these idiots are going to get headhunted in the streets.
Exactly.
This is the
Don't
thing.
be an idiot then. Simple as that.
And then just like with the FA, VAR centre of controversy again from the fucking United City game. I mean, there's not even any controversy behind it. The goal should never have stood.
Yeah,
I mean,
simple as
I
that.
would be a hypocrite if I said that because looking back, I think it was Sanchez against Chelsea in the FA Cup or something, where Giroud did a very, very similar thing, but he was closer to the player and in a bit more of a interfering position, and the goal was still given. So I would be a huge hypocrite if I said that. I won't, because it has benefited my club at
No,
one.
I mean
Mate,
you wouldn't be
it's
if you think the goal shouldn't stand and it
I mean, I don't
stands. You
because of,
celebrate it, but
100% it shouldn't have stood. And this is the problem with VAR. I mean, for football fans sitting around, I was watching BT score afterwards, and basically Robbie Savage, Chris Sutton, Akinfenwa, all the boys on there said it shouldn't have stood, and somehow the referee, the line out, and VAR, three people have got their heads together and awarded a goal. Like Rashford is the fact that Rashford makes a forward run and then Akanji, whoever's playing there, reacts to Rashford, he's active. It don't matter about touching the ball. Like
yeah.
he's active because the defender has reacted to him. If he it's different. It's different if he just stood like this. If he stood still, puts his hands up, but doesn't move. But he runs. Like he's active in the game.
You can't even say that because Casemiro plays the part. Who the fuck does Casemiro play the pass to? Because you're telling me you can't be involved in play. So if Casemiro doesn't play the pass forward, because there's no way he sees Bruno Fernandes making that run.
Because Bruno
Plays it to-
Fernandes is fucking parallel to him as well. Right?
Exactly. So he plays it. He plays it to Rashford. Rashford is like a millimeter, if not 0.0.1 inches away from the ball, and he's standing there like I haven't touched it.
This is
Two
it.
defenders can't get
Bruno
past you.
basically shoots it through Rashford.
He shoots it. Edison then comes out thinking Rashford's going to take it. You can't tell me he doesn't in the field of play. And any referee that's trying to justify any referee making that decision should just be quiet and be sacked for their job.
the only point is that I think it, like you said, it was a Kanji, but it's Premier League. He did something that you know in Sunday League football. You play to the whistle. You not play to the flag or et cetera, et cetera. You play to the whistle. So if he had played to the whistle, we may have been able to stop it, et cetera, et cetera. But the fact that he stops his run because he assumes that it is going to be called for offside is part of the problem, because you can't do that. It's Premier League football. You play to the fucking whistle. Like you're not a 12-year-old on a Sunday League team trying to play. It is Premier League, so you have to play to the whistle. That is the oldest.
Right. Right, let's try again.
It's a fucking shit show,
It's
mate.
fucking shit, innit? It's fucking shit. It's so shit. Oh, fuck me. How do you work with this, Joel?
Mark, how did you set up a meeting that has a timer on it?
I don't know.
It's
I
a
don't
club
know.
plan.
I don't
Welsh
know.
kid.
Oh, yeah, always a Welsh kid. No, I don't know how I fucking set it up.
If in doubt, blame the Welsh. That's what
Your
I do.
current team's plans gives you up to 60 minutes per meeting. Get in the fucking bin. When was this Zoom?
That's your problem.
No, it's bollocks. It's bollocks. So what? Have I got to get a premium plan just to talk to my pals for longer than 60 minutes? You having me on? I'll fucking dip back onto Discord. Fuck you, Microsoft.
Dip in, dip out, mate. You got a lot of editing to do at the end of this, Mark.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't worry. This live recording is coming straight down after this, and then I'm gonna edit it, and it'll be up on Thursday.
Beautiful.
Anyway,
Never happened.
fucking shite.
Let me get back to my rant, and then
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you play to the whistle.
Yeah, as a Premier League player, you can't fucking stop and not play to the whistle. That is just idiotic, and I don't get. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think the goal should stand, but on that side of things, you have to play to the whistle. How are you stopping when the referee has not blown his whistle as a Premier League player for Manchester City? Like, how?
I think it's because it's so fucking obvious. Like it's.
No, the linesman waves the flag. That's the problem here. The linesman waves the flag. The referee then goes over to the linesman. He's like, "Why are you waving your flag?" He's like, "Because he's offside." He's like, "Yeah, but is he?" And then they give it. So you've played to the line. The linesman's waved his flag. The referee's the one that's made the decision that should never have been given.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't get why we've invested all this money in lines if we can't tell that fucking Rashford's offside.
I know. Just go to your dealer.
it just
invest in them lines.
is just absolutely ruining the game. It's supposed to be brought in to aid the referees when they've made a wrong decision, but it only seems to be I think I was watching something after, and I can't remember who it was, but they were stating that VAR is only there for when the referee makes a clear and obvious error, etc., etc. But it's not doing that because clear and obvious errors are there week in, week out, and VAR
Look,
is doing its job.
by the way, right, I think since Harold Webbers took over VAR in England, VAR has been a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think since he's took control and he's made it very clear that he wants VAR to stay out of the game unless there is, something big. I think VAR and the implementation has been far better than in Scotland where it's a fucking joke to the point
we
where
don't talk about that, Joel.
to the point where in
Don't
extra
get me
time
started on fucking Championship. I mean, it's different. We ain't got VAR.
in extra time in the semi-final of a League Cup, it broke. So we had VAR for 90 minutes. It broke. It wasn't implemented in extra time. I mean, could you get any more clown school than that shit?
We playing at Ellen Road.
Similar to the Arsenal-Liverpool game.
But like from that thing. I mean, besides obviously that Wolves goal at Liverpool that was disallowed.
Oh, mate.
Oh
Yeah.
fuck me, yeah.
I think it has been implemented far better since.
It's definitely been improved.
Who was it before? It was it Dermot Gallagher or something, or was he just the head of officials?
I'm not sure who was in charge. I know that Hal Webb's in charge now. And I think it has been
Your
far
name
better.
is Paul Tierney.
But
He's still a ref, isn't he?
I think he's the fella from Manchester, isn't he? I think Paul Tierney. But I think it's been better. But yeah, to this week was a clear indication that some of the laws which are different to the rules of the game, some of the laws, and that's what this slightly falls under, the law of offside rather than the rule. It's just so broken, and because he doesn't touch the ball by the law of the game, he's not offside. It's just it's madness.
But he has interfered because he's made another player had
anyone
to take action to
anyone that's played the game knows that he's interfering. Anyone.
I look. I'm going to be that person. I think the decision goes the way because it's Manchester. It's Manchester United. I think it's any other team that decision gets overturned. I think it's Manchester. It's a Manchester derby. I think the Premier League wants a different team to win it than Manchester City, and this benefits Arsenal. And I just think it doesn't get given.
We've all seen the report that FIFA wants more goals in games. They don't want to be chalking goals off. They want more goals in games, but it has to be done in the right way. And this was an utter clusterfuck.
It's criminal,
and what resounds the point is that Rashford poked one in and wins the game. So that would have been a draw, but he ends up poking it in, and
I don't think
they take 3 points.
I don't think the game changes unless United score. I don't think Rashford really. I think City go on and win the game.
Yeah, I should have seen it 1-0 in that. Just seeing it out as 1-0.
There's 2 penalty decisions on a different day that get given as well. I think one of them's stonewalled.
The Haaland one.
Yeah, I think it's stonewalled and it's not given.
It was a strange one that they didn't ask him to go review that. As his legs coming through. Strange, yeah.
Yeah. It's the way I look at football now. I'm a lot more older. I'm a little bit maturer. If I wouldn't want it to be given against me, I wouldn't want to see it given. And I think it's a penalty. I don't think United's goal should stand. But hey ho. It's not fair.
Well, courtesy of that result, has it thrown United into a potential title race?
Oh, massively.
Especially with Arsenal on the weekend.
Yeah, with Arsenal to play on the weekend and they're currently 8 points behind us, 1 point behind City. If they can beat us on the weekend, that literally 5 points from us also gives City a chance to go 4 points from us potentially. It opens it right back up. And don't get me wrong, I want to see a title race. I'd love for Arsenal to run away with it because it's the first time in 15 years. But I do want to see something go down to maybe like last game of the season. And it's play out, and it could be one of 3 clubs that win the title. But it's just, it seems to me that a lot of stuff is going United's way at the moment, and it's scary because of out of nowhere that no one looked at them and thought, yeah, they're going to challenge for the title. But all of a sudden, they've quietly gone about their business and getting a good few decisions, and now the title race.
Where are you, home or away?
So the Emirates, isn't it?
Yeah, the Emirates.
You beat them.
because they beat you at Old Trafford, didn't they, earlier in the season with a controversial decision as well.
I think you
Yep.
beat them.
I think we beat them at the Emirates as
Yeah.
well. I do. I honestly
I
do
think,
beat them.
truthfully, I think it goes down to 2 games against City. I think if you get a point and lose, or obviously the best
If we
point,
can
get a
pick up-
point and win, I think you win the league.
We get a point.
What is
and
it? What is it with United now? Because they've not lost in the last 9.
I think they've won 9 on the bounce.
Is it 9 on the bounce they've won?
No, I think Morgan's right. They haven't lost. I think they drew. But I think
Yeah,
it's-
that's what I was thinking. I
Was
don't
it
know.
a 1 or something with like
Yeah,
Southampton
that's
or
yeah. That's why I've seen they drew and then they won the last.
Yeah, it might have been Southampton.
But yeah, I think you beat them. I really don't see much in this Man United team. Like people run and rave about Casemiro and all that. Like Rashford, people forget about how bad Rashford was for like last 3 years. He's scored a couple goals now, but they're not that impressive. They didn't look great against City, so I think Arsenal beat them. And I think truthfully, City finished second. I think that's how the Premier League title win goes.
I don't think you could tell who would finish 4th at the moment. I think there's
Oh,
just
no.
way too many names in and around.
I think the top 4 is what it'll finish as. I think it'll be Arsenal, City, first and second, United, and Newcastle, third and fourth. I think that's
Yeah.
the top 4.
I do think Newcastle will clinch it this season.
Yeah.
No, it's 9 consecutive wins in all competitions. Their last,
Oh wow.
their last loss was Villa away 3-1.
Oh,
I mean,
Emery's first game.
you're
Emery's
talking-
first game, yeah.
Villa in the EFL Cup, it was Fulham in the Premier League, it was Burnley in the EFL Cup, Forest in the league, Wolves in the league, Bournemouth in the league, Everton in the FA Cup, Charlton in the EFL Cup, banter, shitebags, and then City in the Premier League. So you're not exactly storming, beating the big sides, but United go away to Crystal Palace in midweek, and then Arsenal on the
They should
weekend. So
beat
they've got
Palace.
a game in between as well that they've got to keep it rolling for.
I mean, the way it's going, who do you boys think are going down? It's a hard one.
West Ham.
I don't
Wolves.
think West Ham will go down. I think Wolves will go down.
I think West Ham. I don't know what has happened at West Ham, but they're in such disarray, and they're just utter wank at the moment. I don't know what's happened from last season.
Good.
I-
Fuck you, Liam. Fuck West Ham. Good.
I do think West Ham are going to go down this season. I really
I
do.
think Everton might be there as well.
Everton will.
unfortunately.
I think Everton will go down. Southampton will definitely go down.
I really hope Everton don't, but I think they will.
West Ham and Everton. I think 2 big clubs.
I think,
3 essentially.
Southampton got a big result. Obviously at Goodison, is it Nathan Jones, the boy that's
Nathan
that's there
Jones,
now?
yeah.
Yeah, obviously come back against Palace in the cup, beat City in the cup. They're level on points with West Ham and Everton. They're 1 point from potential safety. Bournemouth. If I was predicting, I think Southampton are in a good vein of form. I think they'll pick up a few more points. I would say Everton, Bournemouth, and Wolves. I think
Haven't people got game in hand over West Ham as well that are around
West
them?
Ham, Everton at
Leeds.
this week, I think.
just Leeds have a game in hand. I think Southampton will put it together. I mean, that win against City must have given bags of confidence. James Ward-Prowse is massive for them.
How
Yeah,
has
but-
no one picked him up? Like,
How old?
Absolutely.
how?
James
don't
Ward-Prowse
think
is
so.
like
Is.
26, is he?
Wow.
No, he's not.
If they got down, he is definitely getting picked.
There's no
definitely.
way he's 26.
Bournemouth under Gary O'Neill, I just don't see that side staying up. Everton under Frank Lampard, it hasn't worked. I don't think Everton have won a game since like October. So, they're in big trouble. I think West Ham will find their way out. So I think it would be Everton, Bournemouth and Wolves. Wolves are a brutal side.
Yeah.
As long as Everton go down, I'll be happy. I wanted it last season.
Yeah, I know you definitely want it.
Everton, mate, they're
I
a
can't.
massive team.
And Everton. I really can't.
Oh, I love them. I don't know why.
Oh, I love him.
I love them.
Chelsea splashing out for Mykhailo Mudryk. I mean, directed to more towards you, Sam, because of course Arsenal were at one point firm favourites to get his signature.
The deal was done. The only issue was what annoys me is technically they only really offered what 5 to 10 million more in add-ons, or no, sorry, the initial actual fee, and that's what tipped it. But then you can tell they're under pressure and they are panicking because they offered him an 8-year contract
Yeah.
for something. I think at Arsenal he was going to get 35, 40 grand a week. I think at Chelsea he's on something over 100 and something grand a week, which is absolutely ridiculous for a player that plays in the Ukrainian league and has scored something like 12 goals in his career or something ridiculous.
I mean,
No,
they have been
don't
at
start
war.
vibing. Don't
So-
start
Yeah, I
vibing
was
like
gonna
that.
say. Yeah, I think the
Don't
Discord
start
chat said
vibing
different.
I've watched him against Celtic. I've watched him in a few games. I think he is a very direct, very quick, very technically gifted player, and I would have took him at Arsenal. But the issue is, as we were having conversations before in the group, he wouldn't start in front of Martinelli.
Yeah.
He wouldn't start in front of Saka. So there's not why spend 85 million on someone that is technically going to sit on your bench.
He's good at dodging bombs, I've heard.
It's a marquee signing. That's really all it is. It's
No way has he said that. Like, fucking hell.
what did he just say?
You'll do your editor magic. You'll find it. You'll find it.
Oh,
my
did I miss
God.
it? No, I missed it. Oh no, I missed it.
Anyway, segueing away from that. All right.
Yeah, no, don't. I want as an Arsenal fan. I
To
would
pay that money for someone that isn't ready for your first team,
million,
madness.
100 million.
The guy was
Contract.
the guy was good in spells against Celtic. Yes, like he bagged when we drew 1-1 in Ukraine. He maybe scored their goal at Parkhead, I can't remember, but ultimately the guy was very quiet in against us. And I think to go on and pay that money, he's not better than Martinelli. He's not better than Saka.
He wouldn't even get front of ML Smith Rowe.
He's a project. To pay that money for a project, and it's in typical Mike fashion that he's completely reverted now, and he's saying the guy's a bum, but he can't vibe like that. Like,
Pull your soldiers back.
I just,
Okay, he's going down that route. Okay, cool,
I cannot
cool.
justify. If Arsenal, don't get me wrong, if we'd got him, brilliant. But if we'd have spent 100 million on him and battled with Chelsea to bring him in, I wouldn't have been happy with that, because that 100 million could get us, say, Tillemans and
new tank.
someone else, and fuck's sake. They could,
link
get
with Rice.
three,
Yeah.
four, let's say 3 maximum players in this transfer market. That could get us 3 players to provide cover for the centre mid, to provide cover for an attacking option, and to provide cover for a wing back, say, or whatever we need at the moment. But 100 million on a project, a potentially good player, outrageous, absolutely outrageous, and Chelsea are panicking.
Oh, 100%. 100%
You
Chelsea.
see that Graham Potter came out and said, "I hope to still be here when Mudryk sees out his contract, or when that's going to age terribly."
Oh,
Yeah.
you'd be lucky if you're still there in 8 days, mate.
8 more weeks. Yeah, days, let alone 8.
Yeah, but this is the problem. Who did Chelsea actually get? Because how many managers have they burned? Who do you get? Poch? That's about it. That is literally it.
But yeah, wow, yeah, that's it.
Zidane.
Zidane,
Send it in. Yeah.
but
Is he?
truly, they should have never got rid of Tuchel.
Oh,
Just
100%.
give Tuchel time.
100%. Bad at World Wars, Germany, but good at football.
But, yeah, on the Mudryk thing, I was upset that Chelsea hijacked it and just chucked a load of money in, because I did want him as a player, not for someone to come straight in, like I said, because Martinelli's been fabulous, Saka's been fabulous. I don't even think he'd get in front of ML Smith Rowe on his day, and to spend 85 million on a player like that, it's just you can't justify it. I know we need to strengthen, etc.
In this day and age of football, that is what players go for, unfortunately.
Not that kind of player, mate. Like, you may as well you learn your lesson that you spent just under that on Pepe.
70.
You did fuck all. Like, learn your lesson that there's plenty of people, and you've proven it by bringing in Martinelli, by bringing in
7 million.
Made, didn't he?
7 million.
bringing in Odegaard and this kind of.
Yeah, but Odegaard was a wild card, wasn't he? Really, because he had his days at Madrid, and no one else thought really was past it.
We had him first.
There's been that ethos, you know what I mean? There's been that ethos, that good business, and I think Arsenal have dodged I want to say a bullet, but that's just opening the door for Cam. But they've certainly managed to miss out on paying
An
a
airstrike.
huge fee
Aaron
for
is.
someone that
We're linked back with the guy that went to Barca.
Rafinha, yeah.
Zaha's only got 6 months left on his contract. You've
Zaha
got
would be good for Arsenal.
Leah from
Rafael Leao
What,
from
Star
AFC.
Wars?
Leao.
Oh,
these players that aren't going to cost, well, maybe Leao, but these players, what, 30 million for Zaha? 35 million max?
Would you take Zaha at Arsenal?
I would take Zaha
He's
because
like 30 odd now, isn't he?
we know what we know. He's 27, 28.
he'll end up like shagging like Thingy's door or something. He's
Oh,
not notorious for
He's
that.
that young. I don't think he is, mate. He's been around
You know what?
a
You
long old
should
time.
probably fact check that because I'm not sure. But you know what you're getting with Zaha. You know he's a Premier League player that can perform in the Premier League. In our system, he'd probably be doing more than what he can do at Palace. But still, I wouldn't start him in front of Martinelli or Saka. I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
It's
Yeah, he's
It's
30.
more stuff on the bench. Like that's your problem with Arsenal. A couple injuries, and you're looking at who's going to step in.
Yeah, that's the
Depth into
problem.
the team.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. And Nketiah's playing up top, and I know he looked
Exactly.
all right in a few games, but that's the depth.
Yeah, we
It's
need
there.
for party. I mean, Lokonga is not ready yet. He's still young. He's what, 19. He's got potential, but again, it's just potential. He doesn't get enough game time to actually do anything. And
Sign Giroud back, mate.
I think, not an unpopular opinion amongst Arsenal fans, but I actually think at the moment in the Premier League, Partey is the best holding midfielder in the league.
Oh, he almost scored
Yeah.
an absolute
He's
scorcher in that game as well.
this season-
Oh.
I mean, he only scored screamers against Tottenham, mate.
Good at holding
Uh,
women down.
season-
Oh.
This
Him and Mendy, I've heard.
He
Rodrigo,
was found not guilty.
Up
Yeah.
7 counts, it's still 9, mate.
How'd you
Benjamin
get away
Mendy was found
with 7
not
counts?
guilty.
Yeah, doesn't Mendy have like 53 charges against him?
Look.
Yeah.
If Mendy's not guilty, I'm not white. So this is
I can't
my
believe
thing.
away with it. I really can't. But yeah, no, on that,
I did not see it.
Partey is the best holding midfielder in the league at the moment. I do not see
Mendy, yeah.
Partey, not Mendy.
He's
Partey.
having a party. That's what I've heard.
He can do it all. He's dictating the play. He's breaking up the play. He can shoot. His passing's been on point. Like there isn't anything that he is doing wrong at the moment.
Like dictates women.
I think Declan Rice is better, personally honest.
Apparently we're linked with him, so you never know.
He'd be a good signing for Arsenal, I think.
I
He
actually,
goes on free.
Well, if West Ham go down, he'll definitely jump ship then, wouldn't he?
No, he
Yeah.
goes on free in the summer, doesn't he?
Free in
So
the
that's what
summer.
it.
Oh,
He
does
does.
he? Okay.
So they may cash in this window from Angie would be a good signing as well. I don't rate him as a top level footballer that I've spoken about many a time on here, but he's better than Xhaka. He'd improve Arsenal.
He's better than Xhaka. He's better than Lokonga.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely 100% improved.
Because I just feel everyone around Xhaka is making him look good at Arsenal at the moment.
Jack is a walking red card on a good day.
This is it. Like,
I mean, you say that he's been really good at that. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Did you see Arteta grab him at the end?
yeah,
of the
they
game?
grabbed him at the end because Xhaka was basically going to fucking flatten out whoever this fan was.
I mean, I did have a yellow
And
card on him,
Richarlison,
so
possibly.
I'd have preferred that.
I'm
Did
glad
have
that Saliba didn't get a yellow card and Partey didn't get a yellow card, or they would have missed the United game. So I'm very happy that they did not get cards because they are pinnacle. They are absolutely.
Yeah, your backline's
Without
been
them,
real.
if they both get injured, we're fucked. We are fucked because Ben White, surprisingly, been amazing on the right, but coming in at centre back and then bringing Tommy Asu back in or whoever, like it just disrupts the whole thing that we've got going.
Yeah, but he was good against Tottenham at the Emirates, wasn't he? Oh,
Who?
Tommy Asu,
Yeah,
right back. He was really good.
but you can't fault Ben White at the moment. He has made that position
Mate, you
his.
can't fool any of the 11. You're top of the league.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Well, let's move on to Celtic. I've left you hanging quite a bit now, Joel. 2-0 win over Killy, Scottish League Cup final. What are your thoughts?
Well, wasn't quite the final, just a semi-final.
Semi-final.
We play-
I got too overexcited.
We play that mob in the final. Yeah, look, wasn't our best performance by any stretch. It was, the pitch wasn't great. The weather was brutal. A nice segue of the game was Carl Lafferty returning after his 10-match ban for sectarian language, and all he managed to do was kick the ball onto Maeda for the goal, which was nice.
Happy
And then
days.
hooked at half time. But yeah, look, it was a tough watch, really. I don't think that they weren't really in the game. We had a couple of goals ruled out offside, a couple of tight calls, and then at the end of the 1-0, Giakoumakis kind of clatters into the back of a Kilmarnock player, and I was petrified that they were going to give a penalty, and they didn't. He gets away with one massively, and then obviously goes up the other end and scores probably his farewell goal. So yeah, it was a 5 out of 10 performance probably, but ultimately book our place in the final for the 26th of February and got the job done. But yeah, need to go up a level. Need to certainly play better in the final. But all of a sudden we turn back to league becomes a priority now, maintaining the gap and kicking on. But yeah, it'd be nice to get the first trophy of the season. Aberdeen put up a good fight in the other semi-final. Was hoping that we wouldn't have to play them, and go through that fucking horridness of a derby. But yeah, it is what it is, and we roll on now. But ultimately, I don't know. There was just Carl Starfelt he's a great defender. He's awful on the ball though, which obviously a lot of teams recognise now. Greg Taylor wasn't playing, so Bernabei was in, and he was okay. So hopefully we'll get a few people back, and then we'll go. But it's a strange sort of dynamic in the midfield at the moment. Aaron Moy is playing quite well, so Matt O'Reilly isn't there, and my Moy is decent. I think we lack something without O'Reilly. My aid is obviously in good nick, and Jota was playing on the right, and again I think we maybe lose a wee bit when Jota's out on the right. But yeah,
Has he been performing how he was? I haven't paid much attention to it, I won't lie, but has he been knocking on like how he was or how you expect him to?
no, not really. Obviously had a incredible start to the season. Then he got injured, and he's kind of filtered in and out. With a lot of options on the wings, with the likes of Haksabanovic, Abada, Jota, Maeda. So we kind of rotate that a lot. He hasn't really nailed down, cemented a starting place. He seems to always be, one of the first subs as well on that kind of 60th minute. And seems to trust Maeda a wee bit more. So yeah, probably expected a wee bit more from him, but hopefully second half of the season he can re-find a little bit of form. But yeah, like I said, it wasn't a brilliant watch, but there was some good football in spells on a very difficult surface in very difficult conditions. And on a different day, maybe we could have grabbed a few more, especially in the second half. But ultimately, we got over the line, got the job done, and we're on to the first final of the season.
Good result. Nice. Speaking of finals, sorry, it just popped into my head. I think the only thing that Man United genuinely, maybe they genuinely have a chance of winning is the Carabao Cup. I don't
Who the
see,
fuck wants to win that though?
but that I just I don't.
Newcastle.
Newcastle will win it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Newcastle will win it. I reckon.
You reckon Newcastle?
Yeah, I
United.
think they'll just prove to be too stubborn for United. Newcastle, I think they're.
Well, I think
they've got the best
United
defence
got-
in the Premier League so far this season.
United got drew against Forest, didn't they? In that, I
Yeah,
think.
United have got Forest. Yeah,
I don't know who Newcastle have got.
Southampton.
Oh, Southampton.
Yeah.
Over 2 legs, you'd expect. Obviously, the way Newcastle season's been going, to get it done. Yeah, there'll be some big gains for them, but yeah, it wouldn't hurt. Sorry, Ten Hag's tenure to obviously get a trophy under his belt.
You spoke about the impending departure of Giakoumakis briefly earlier, Joel. So the reported fee is to be around, I think it was like €4 million. Is it a justifiable price for a player like Giakoumakis? And what sort of void does that leave that now with Celtic?
There's got to be something else going on behind the scenes. Whether he's, whether he wants to be first choice, and he's frustrated that Keogh goes in front of him. But yeah, no doubt it leaves a massive void. And what business can we do? We were linked to that Korean striker and just kind of come out and kind of called that down. The Korean boy has kind of said that he'd probably favour Mainz in the Bundesliga anyway, but he's probably not looking to move to the summer after Park Ji-sung come out and spoke about how much he didn't like his move to PSV in the winter window. So he's probably staying put. I know that there's been rumours of Kevin Nesbitt that's been
Nesbitt, bloody hell.
It's been rumoured for a long time. Obviously, he's a big Celtic fan. He's done all right at Hibs since he's returned. But yeah, definitely leaves a void. I think the problem that we've got is that anyone that we're trying to sign at the moment is probably coming in, to play backup to Kyogo. So it takes, a certain type of player to want to play that role, and anyone that's established, doesn't want to come in and play second fiddle. So it's going to be probably tough to go out and find that kind of player, and one that's going to fill that void for Giakoumakis. And I probably expect that Juranovic will move on as well in the window. And again, it feels like a lowball fee, reported around 7 million for him, for someone that was in the World Cup, team of the tournament. It all feels a little bit low. So I imagine there's maybe contractual things in their contract. I don't know, but yeah, look, if we get 7 for Juranovic, we get 4 for Giakoumakis. It's 11 million altogether. That should allow us to go out and strengthen. We've already got Alistair Johnson in to cover that. Obviously with Ralston coming back, so I think Andrew said he wants one more, and that'll be a striker. Just all depends on what's available.
Well, it's always difficult January trying to bring in key positions, and I mean, speaking of strikers that would be available, I know that that Joe Geldhart from Leeds has become available since they brought in that Hoffenheim striker for a fee of 35 million. Could be a possible option.
I think, when we're talking about any Premier League player, it's all inflated though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Would you get Joe Geldhart for 4 or 5 million? Probably not.
Yeah.
So, probably got to look in different places and different markets. But yeah, look, Ange has been fantastic in the market. He's been great for us. He's brought in some brilliant players from obscurity, the likes of Hatate and Maeda, Pluck Jota from there. Obviously Cameron Carter-Vickers. So he's barely put a foot wrong. Matt O'Reilly, fantastic signing. He's obviously brought in the new midfielder. You've got J League Player of the Season, and he's brought in that Kobayashi in defence. So more reinforcements. For me, yeah, striker, and then I think as we move towards the summer, I think you'll probably be looking at the goalkeeper position. Joe Hart's been good for us since he's come in, but certainly aging. I think we'd probably look for a refresh in that position. But yeah, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be grand in the league. I think at this point, all we've really got to do now is make sure we win the derby at home, which I think we'll do. When we've got 60,000 behind us and we play the football we do at home, I don't think they can live with us. And just keep rolling on. We see on the weekend, their struggles against Aberdeen, vice versa, where we were in probably first, second gear against Kilmarnock. We didn't really let up many opportunities. There was a few, but there wasn't really nothing major, probably bar the boy at the back post, and halfway through the second half. So that was us in second gear, and we've cruised into the final. So yeah, nice to get it done in 90 minutes. That pitch would have been heavy. They've played an extra half an hour on that pitch, so we'll see what happens. But I think the league will take care of itself, and then it's the cups here. We could kind of break their spirit if we win on the 26th, and that puts the first trophy in the cabinet. Then it's full steam ahead to another treble, and I think that's the panic that Rangers have at the moment. There's been obviously the quadruple treble, which is unprecedented, never done before in world football, probably never be done again by any team in world football. So I think the worry is that if we get that first one in the bag, they know that we're going to go deep in the Scottish Cup.
Yeah, I think what's also in your favour as well is that Michael Beale hasn't been at Rangers for too long, and he's going into a lot of big spectacles already with Rangers.
Look, he was under the Gerrard. He was in the Gerrard backroom staff, so I think he understands. He plays up to him a lot. I mean, talking about bringing back this Brambro pish and all these suits bollocks and all that kind of carry on that they fucking love. Fan base sucks off a tyre like it's brutal, but yeah, he knows the crack. I think he knows the club. I think he's been lucky. There's been a few games, certainly a lot of decisions, mostly regarding Connor Goldson that have swung the way of Rangers. So I think he's been a bit fortunate, but it is what it is, and he'll have a big job. I think they're linked with Todd Cantwell, who's a decent player. See if they can get him
Todd
through the door.
Cantwell?
Yeah.
The Norwich lad.
Aye.
No.
So yeah, apparently so. Apparently linked with him, and he's a decent
Fuck,
player. I
he's
think
fallen off.
one of the most telling things was when I was over London. I was talking to one of Cam's friends, Sam, who's a QPR fan. Asked him about Michael Beale, and he just kind of said, "Yeah, he's not very good. He kind of has a good bump, which he did for them, and then he tailors off. So I'm expecting his Rangers to probably be strong through February, and then Michael Beale will get his first taste coming into March of the derby at Celtic Park, and where everyone else has crumbled. And I think there's a lot of Rangers fans that won't excuse his appointment anyway, and any kind of setback, and they're on his back. So we'll see. Obviously he's dodged a few bullets. Extra time with Aberdeen in the cup, having to score 2 goals in 90 minutes at Pittodrie to beat Aberdeen. The handball that should have been given at Dundee United. There's a lot of things that he's dodged. So we'll see. But yeah, I think the league will take care of itself, and then it rolls on to the 26th. If we can get that under the belt, I think it really breaks them, and then the fan base may turn a bit toxic. If they win it, then he's a trophy in the bag, and it could build something for next season. Whatever happens in the final in February, I think that the league is a foregone conclusion. But obviously, if we get that, it opens up the prospect of the treble. If they get it, then they've bagged a trophy this season. Let's go on to Cardiff then, Morg.
We're fucked. That's basically it, really.
Sounds good.
We're fucked. Yeah, Mark Hudson got the sack. It was coming, especially after this weekend's result. Go 1-0 up, 82nd minute. We have 4 minutes added on. 96th minute, we're going to get an equaliser. Brain dead defending, switch off, don't play to the whistle. Concede a late equaliser, and then Mark Hudson's given his marching orders an hour later. 18 games, 4 wins, 4 draws, 7 draws, 7 defeats. I could only feel sorry for the man. It's not his fault he's in the position he's in. I don't put anything past this board anymore. Like, we put Dean Whitehead in charge now, and he's only been at the club a couple of weeks. So he's been chucked into the managerial position, and he'll probably get a draw against Leeds. We'll beat them on penalties, and then we'll go and beat Borough the following week, and he'll sign a contract extension to the end of the fucking 2024 season, and then the same thing will happen. We'll have that dip, and then he'll get fucking sacked, and then Tom Ramosset will finally move up to the managerial position. That will happen. Then I'll get it, and then I'll do the same thing. It's just like this rinse and recycle regime that this board feel is going to put us in the right direction going forward. But at the moment, we're only going one place, and that's League One. It's as simple as that. Like,
might win a trophy down there, mate.
I don't want a trophy down there, bro. Like, this is it. Like,
Bro.
the only way I'm going to actually see my team play is if I'm actually there in person, because I ain't going to be able to fucking stream it.
Sorry, I've just clicked back on the old YouTube, and I saw the beautiful picture that you had there of Odegaard and Saka with the old.
Oh, did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. I just see it.
Oh, Cam's going to fucking hate the name of the episode, but
I mean, let them pretend they're like a big club now. If they win the Premier League, bless their heart.
Well, honestly, mate, I mean, look, it's. Well, I saw a thing the other day. Lee Peltier, who was a former Cardiff player, was on a podcast, and he was telling a story about Vincent Tan whilst he was at the club. And
He's dead now, isn't he?
No, so what Vincent Tan would do, so he'd call like a team meeting at the start of every season. I wish he was, though. And he'd call a team meeting and he'd go into the dressing room and go to everyone, right, I want you to shoot. The more times you shoot, the better chances you get of scoring. And then he'd show clips of players scoring from the halfway line.
Should sign Americans. They're good at shooting, I've heard.
Like it, and then he was saying that apparently, they'd throw rice onto the pitch and burn stuff on the pitch because they're dead religious. And before games, they have a fucking praying room in the stadium as well. They have a praying room.
Do they?
And Vincent Tan would drag in the strikers day before the game. And get him to
20,000 in that prayer room.
Get him to pray. Well, clearly Max Waters hadn't fucking been in there because he can't fucking hit a barn door.
That's all he needs. Just
it's just laughable. It's embarrassing. We've spoken about Spurs and how much of a shit place they're in and how shit of a place Liverpool are in. Cry me a fucking river. Like, the club is a shambles from top to bottom. We've got no direction going forward at all. We've got a clueless owner who really doesn't realise and identify how much of the shit we're in right now. Because we aren't going anywhere. He's taken, there's no structure around the board anyway, because our board have no football knowledge whatsoever. And there's no director of football or technical directors or anything like that who can, spearhead our recruitment, who can spearhead who we have come in to manage the first team. There's none of that in place. Vincent Tan has the final say on every little thing. Eventually he'll be manager.
What do you think it needs to happen? Are you saying you need a complete overhaul of the complete club?
The club needs a hard reset. I mean, we had a reset of the squad in the summer. And, got some big owners off the wage bill. We got rid of Leandro Cunted Bacuna, who somehow got a contract at Watford. Got rid of Aidan Flint, the human lamppost, who's had a fucking seizure. Gone. Got rid of fucking Alex Smithies as well, who, was just a penalty specialist. Apart from that, he was no better than Dylan Phillips at the time. And, we've just had, Josh Murphy as well. Guy cost us 10 million. What's he done apart from grow a beard?
Look at Joel. He can't grow it, so it's done a lot.
Oh, well, I'm there with him. But, no.
What? What was that?
Getting Larry here. But, no, the club's a mess from top to bottom. We've got the FA Cup replay coming up. It's pretty much a dead game. I think it's just inevitable that we'll not come out with anything from that game. Our main focus is to just steady the ship, see the season out, and hopefully stay up, but I don't see it happening.
I don't either.
You think you're going to go down?
It's
You're
a big
completely
one.
fucked.
Wigan were bottom, rock bottom.
This is it.
And yeah, it should have been a home bank of 3 points. 96th minute, the equaliser is an absolute killer. Hudson had to go, mate. Hudson was well out of his depth. But who'd you even get in? Who'd you get in?
Well, the only names that in my mind, the names that come to my head are Chris Wilder.
Wait, mate, you might have a pick up Moisey or Lampard. Wait there, Gan.
Might have Conte, mate.
Gerrard.
Yeah,
of course.
Well, Sean Dyche. Good old,
Yeah.
I can't do a fucking impression of Sean Dyche. I just sounded like I was fucking flemming up then. But
Big Sam, you got Big Sam.
no,
Yeah.
fuck Big Sam. No,
He's just a fatter version of Mark Hudson.
this is it. Like
Sam,
no,
bro.
no. The options are very
Nah, bro.
limited at the moment. Like I said, this board will take the cheap way out. They'll give a contract to Dean White at the end of the season. There's always that rumour mill going around of Warnock coming out of retirement and then getting him
love
in
him,
to
man.
the end. I love Warnock as well, but be careful.
Signs his own player cards. Keeps on a fanny pack. I love
But
that.
but me and Joel spoke about it with Neil Lennon last week. Like, it's just not a fucking. It's not a bright
He's
idea.
available.
He is available, and it'll
Cut
stay
your
that
own
way.
cock off, mate. Fucking take him back.
4 minutes left. Shit.
Panicking. I'm gonna lose my job.
I'm gonna lose my job. Nah.
Surely there's got to be someone. I mean, I don't know who's in charge at Plymouth at the moment, but doing a fantastic
No one
job.
does.
Like, obviously, they're top of League One. Surely there's got to be a better manager out there than Dean Whitehead or Mark Warburton. What the fuck has Mark Warburton ever done? Apart from get Rangers promoted from the Championship at the second time of asking. Rangers from the Championship at the second time of asking. I think even Mark Hudson would have got him up, mate.
Yeah,
Ali McCoy's just cutting about in the fucking third and second division, getting a fucking promoted. Warburton walks in.
I mean, they had a Premier League team in the last. They had a Premier League team in the third, second.
And could have done it. Like, it's that fucking simple. But like you're saying, he took him 2 attempts.
Manager of McDonald's, isn't she?
And then he managed to finish.
Because that's a managed team, bro.
And then he managed to finish third in his first season. Aberdeen pipped into second. Mark Warburton, mate. Unless you want to be playing League Two football, right? Because if he takes over, you're getting relegated, and then I wouldn't trust him to get you back up. You'll be fucking playing Hartlepool away, because by that point they'd have gone down and come back up.
Yeah, exactly.
Your derby would be Wrexham, mate.
Who was one of our tutors at college that does Dartford now? You could better off going to get him, bro, and fucking getting him. Yeah.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he's manager of Dartford.
Jamie Coyle is manager of Dartford.
One of them manager of Dartford.
Fuck off. Is he manager of Dartford? Look, my heart says Chris Wilder. My head says, yeah. I don't know. I've got
that taught you prevention of getting injured.
Yeah. No,
Ryan Giggs is available.
I'd have him.
Giggs.
Giggs there. Give it to Giggs to the end of the season.
I don't know if you still check your fantasy team, boys.
Not really.
No.
Well, I know Joel doesn't. I don't know about you, Cam.
Yeah, mate, I'm on it all the time.
Yeah, mate, yeah. Right, I'm just going to read out the standings from the Football Booth League. So, the standings are, Liam's top, still top, 1141. He's got at least he's winning something. And then we got Mike, who's second, 1101.
Hey.
Third place is me, 1086.
Fuck off.
Joe must have fallen off. Man. Bloody hell.
Fourth is Joe, 1081. 1061 and fifth is Endrogene.
1066.
Sixth place, Bayern Brew, Joel, with 1003. Seventh, 2 building, 1 plane, Cam, 990. Eighth place, Not a Kaloo, Sam Foster, 984.
Oh,
Sam, you've dropped 2 places in the table. Mate. And as things stand, you're getting a Spurs kit.
Oh, all right, I'll start paying attention.
As things stand,
that's the only thing that's going to keep it relevant this season, just to see who's not bottom.
Mate, I'll happily finish bottom. Get the shin pads on, slide around Weatherspoons. It'd be fucking joke. Make a whole night out of it, mate.
Celebrate a league title at least.
Exactly.
We are going to fuck it up because we've been in not similar positions at the top, but we're fourth, third, second, last.
I think it generally matters on the series results. I think that's all that matters. I think you beat United at home. I don't think United are that good of a team.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, I think it goes down to the series results. I think if you get a point and lose, still think you win the league. If you lose home and away.
If the City that's been playing recently, if they turn up at the Emirates, I think we beat them. 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, something like that. But at the Etihad, we always struggle at the Etihad, and I do not see us picking up a result. I just don't. Even in our current form, with the current team, with the confidence, I don't see it. I just don't see it. And I think that is maybe we'll slip up there. I think maybe we'll slip up against like a Brentford or something, or someone that you just wouldn't expect us to slip up to. I think that's. Apart from that, I don't see us slipping up against anyone else.
It's all yours to lose, mate.
8
This
points
is
clear
it.
coming.
I think that's the problem. I think when the pressure's put on your Arsenal, that'll be the real thing. Because everyone said City, City, City. I feel like Arsenal the Leicester of when everyone's like Leicester can't win it, Leicester can't win it, Tottenham
Yeah.
win it, Tottenham win it. There's no pressure on this Arsenal team yet, and I think when you beat us Sunday,
It's
this is
just
now
starting to
people.
build now. Yeah.
And this is
It's
it.
just-
And you saw Leicester in that season where they went to the Etihad and took points off of them, and Old Trafford, and I think it was only Arsenal they couldn't take points
Arsenal
off of.
beat them home and away, man.
Yeah, that
Arsenal
was it. They did the double over them. So yeah, it's
The
just
late goal, Welbeck.
Yeah, so tell
Danny
me how
Welbeck,
Tottenham
yeah.
finished second.
Danny
in the
Simpson
third
red
place
card, I
and
believe, at
Arsenal
the
didn't
Emirates.
Yeah,
The Welbeck
Dog
at the
shit.
end, 89th minute or something.
That was
Shit,
it.
United player.
Yeah, mate. Well, I guess we'll wrap things up here and now. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me this evening. I know it's been a bit up and down with the Microsoft Team shenanigans and me not changing accounts and streaming on Twitch and then going back over to YouTube. It's been a lot of fun, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's been nice to chop the shit.
Yeah.
A lot of editing to fucking cancel Cam out for fucking half the pod.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Like it's gonna be a half-hour episode. That's what it's gonna be.
Oh mate, how does anyone drink gin and tonic? That shit is disgusting.
You're necking. You're doing gin and tonic.
Mate, it was the only thing.
Oh right.
That's what Mendes said with the girls. They raped them.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you are new to the football booth, please make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications over on our YouTube channel. Just to keep you up to date when a new episode drops. Also, check out all episodes over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Audible. Thank you all again for listening. We'll see you all next Monday. Good night and Nostar.
There's always one comment there.